Alright, hello once again, this is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and as part of the Rankin Technical College AWD1111 class to be taught during the fall 2020 semester at Rankin, I've been doing a series of video presentations based on the textbook for the class, that textbook being Get Programming with Node.js by Jonathan Wexler, a Manning text. And let me just start this very quickly before we go into Lesson 10 by telling you that I have watched some videos online regarding Node.js, but I've tried not to watch too much. When I go and do these presentations, as I'm doing right now, one of the reasons I do them like this is I try to go into it with basically the mentality that a student would have. In other words, that I'll have not that much knowledge. All right, hopefully by the time we get into the actual class at the end of August, it'll be a little crisper than it is right now. So, page 106, Lesson 10, Connecting Views with Templates. In Lesson 9, we constructed a routing system for our Express.js application. In this lesson, we learn about templating engines and see how to connect our routes to views. We also learn how to work with EJS, that's embedded JavaScript, which is the syntax for applying JavaScript functions and variables within views. In other words, it allows us to take our web pages and make them more interactive, as well as how to pass data into those views from your controllers. We start by setting up EJS with the application and seeing how the templating engine works. By the end of the lesson, we will understand the syntax needed to master EJS in Express.js applications. So we've got three objectives: connect a templating engine. Well, I don't know what that is.
I gotta do my thing. Come on. Do my thing. Yeah. I gotta do my thing. Watch me do my thing.
Okay. I had an article up there that I was going to show my daughter for whether or not you should go to Disney World this year, because she was planning on going. So I don't know why that started, but it did. So again, three objectives: connect the templating engine to the application, pass data from our controllers to our views, and set up Express.js layouts. So the author says that when we start to look at this, we realize we've got a lot of stuff in common between our pages. So with templating, we can basically write something once and use it multiple times. Okay? All right. In Lesson 9, as it says, we reorganized our routes to serve responses with Express.js routing. The next step is using these routes to respond with more than a single line of text. As in Unit 1, you'll render separate files, but these files aren't purely HTML, and we won't explicitly need the file system or FS module to serve them. Part of what makes Express so popular is its ability to work with other packages and tools, such as the templating engine, which allows you to code views with the ability to insert dynamic data. In this book, we're going to be writing our views in HTML and using embedded JavaScript, or EJS. You'll see that these files have a .ejs extension. There's more templating engines that we could use, and some of them are shown right here. One is Mustache. As it says, it's simple and lightweight. One is Handlebars. Similar to EJS, it uses two or three sets of curly braces for everything you do. It's a little hard to look at, but once you get into it, it's not too bad. Underscore and Pug. So a templating engine right there, as the book says, is what Express uses to process your views and convert them to browser-readable HTML pages. Any non-HTML lines are converted to HTML. All right, you'll see that as we get going. So the overall view of the process is shown in Figure 10.1, which is on the top of page 108. Says the starting file index.html represents your index page. The goal is to take this almost and produce that from it. You can kind of look at it that way. The EJS extension, .ejs, helps the engine locate only those files it knows how to convert into HTML. The templating engine actually converts them, and the result is an HTML page that's viewable in the browser. So we want to create a new application called Express Templates. So let's do that first. We'll do our npm init. First use of embedded JavaScript EJS. Alright, so we've got all that done. That looks good. Install Express as a dependency. See if we can go back and find that. It's been a while. Well, let's put NodeMon in here. That should work without a problem because we did do our init, so that's fine. There we go. Alright. Let's take a look at what we've done. So we should have a new folder called Express Templates. I put desktop instead of desktop. There it is. You'll notice in our node modules we got a boatload of stuff in here already because we did it both Express, which we should see if we take a quick look. There it is. And we've got NodeMon, which we also should see if we take a gander there. So they're both there. Alright. So this is what we've got set up thus far. Alright. Alright, so let's create our index.js file here. Let's open that up. And again, we can use VS Code here. We can use anything. Okay, that's not that big a thing. So let's come in here and let's see. I'm going to grab this from the last one that we did. No, I couldn't do this either. I want that line there. Did we make a controllers and a home controller? I believe so. Maybe we did not. So inside of here we will need to create don't know if we need a home controllers folder, but we're going to make one anyway. I can always take that out of there if I want to later. That's done. Oh, according to this, it's if we're doing that, it's right underneath that, so I won't need that. Well, we'll fix that in a bit. We also want to install the EJS package, the embedded JavaScript package. So we came in here, we created a new project called Express Templates. We initialized it with npm init. We installed Express as a dependency. We created our controllers folder, and it says with a home controller. So I'm going to fix that controllers folder first, and then we'll go on. So now we have a controllers folder with a home controller.js. We set our server to listen to port 3000. We required Express and the app object. We set the home controller, and we set our port. I think that's everything we're supposed to do. We could have done those at the same time, not a problem. All right. The set method here on the bottom of page 108 and the top of page 109. All right. Set is often used to assign variables to predefined configuration variables used by your app. These variables, known as application settings properties, are listed at the URL shown. Some variables are used by the app itself to allow your application to function on your computer. Assigning variables with set is another way to set configurations. You've been setting the port like this. Although this is convenient, we have no guarantee that's what we want. This is the way that we're going to do it. So let's look at that. Let's put that into our code. Okay, what this is saying now, let's see. Let's do this. We will talk about it. Take my word for it. app.get port. Alright, so what we're saying here then is when you're setting up the port, if the system, this would be again more for when you would go into application mode, not into development mode. If you've got your own port you want to use for this, use it. Otherwise, use port 3000. Alright. Now that the EJS package is installed, we need to let our Express application know that we're planning on using it for templating. To do so, add app.set view engine below the require lines in main.js. This line tells the Express application that the view engine will be EJS. Now that the application is ready to interpret, create an index.ejs file in your views folder. Alright, and put in the code that's shown right here, just these two lines. Alright, so let's go, did we make a views folder? First, let's just copy this in. Alright. We do not, so let's make a views folder right here. Alright. Now we've got that, and we're going to take the file that we just are working on here, and I'm going to change it to my name. And I'm going to say I'm going to save this, and I'm going to save it into views as index.ejs. Okay. So we use the EJS syntax, which is in between here, to define and assign a variable called name within our view. Everything within these characters runs as regular JavaScript. That's why we need the semicolon at the end. Each line of HTML contains an embedded variable, as you can see right there. By using this, you're able to print the variable within the HTML tags. Alright, so the author says here, let's create a route in main.js for the name path. We can think of a name for the controller function that relates to what the function will do. The following example calls function respond with name to app-get/name home controller respond with name. This route runs when a request is made to the name path and calls it. So in your home controller.js, add this as shown in this listing. So back to our home controller. This we no longer need. There it is. So what do we have here? Let's just take a look at it. So we are saying that you're going to call this routine. Okay, it's called respond with name, and it will render whatever we have here in this index variable. Notice that you don't need the .ejs extension for this view, and you don't need to specify the folder that this view lies in. Express takes care of all that for you. As long as you continue to add your views to the viewed folder and use EJS, the app will do what you're supposed to do. Alright, I may have missed a step. Let's hope I didn't. Let's go back and see. So this has been saved, this has been saved, and this has now been saved. Alright, so let's try running it and see what happens. Why it's not finding that? I thought that I installed it. That's okay. Okay, it doesn't like something that's in my index file. I think it's the word add that I put in there. Equals express. I'm missing something. I'm going to fix that. We're bumping up into a big time here, so I'm going to fix that and come back and go over 10.10-2 in just a minute.